What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Phil, and welcome back to another video. So, I have decided actually to make this video. Well, I've been planning this for quite some time already, actually, and now that, at least for this, at this point in time, the Super Sentai franchise is on a hiatus, I would say. But now that there's a definitive number of Super Sentai shows that I can consistently look back on, I have decided that we can still make content out of Super Sentai and whatnot. So I have been planning this video for quite some time, like I've said, but considering that March is also like Women's Month, so I think it's actually a perfect time to talk about the women of Super Sentai. So now, for this video, I am going to give you guys my top 10 female rangers from the Super Sentai series. So if you guys have your own favorites, let me know down in the comments below. So first off, before I actually move on onto the list, so the characters that I am going to talk about are from the shows that I have actually watched. And again, this is based on personal opinion alone. So again, if you do have like different favorites, that's fine. Let me know in the comments. So with that said, let's start off this list. Now, number one, I am going to start off with my top female ranger, Rita Kaniska, aka Papillon Oger. So, I think arguably Rita has been the most popular character in King Oger. And, you know, she has a lot of character depth to her. Like, she does take on, again, because of how her character is portrayed, she could easily take the most popular character spot in the show. Again, a lot of people love her. So, of course, Rita has her own backstory. So, she became the judge and ruler of the kingdom of Gokka at the age of 10, albeit, she was forced to, well, she was kind of forced to do it, but again, she was assigned that role from a very young age, leaning to like a more serious personality. But because of that, when Rita is alone, so she actually has to, I guess, like lock herself up in her room, spending time with her favorite Mofun, and that's like one aspect of Rita that, gives her like characters. Like she's serious on the outside, but she's still soft on the inside, I would say. And I guess the most defining feature, episode 38. Again, so we are so used to getting, to seeing Rita in like a serious uh, personality. So episode 38 shows us that she is adorable. Okay? So enough said. Like King Oger episode 38, my favorite episode in all of Super Sentai history. No questions asked, at least for me. So yeah, that's why Rita Kaniska is my favorite female ranger of all time. And by the way, so again in 2025, so there was a popularity poll, and Rita was one of the top 10 like rangers voted individually, by the way, so by Japanese fans. So yeah, that just proves, that just goes to show how popular Rita was as a character. So anyways, so number two on the list, so I am actually going to say uh my number two would be Daemon Marika, or Marika Daemon. Now, you don't hear that name quite often because Marika is actually more well known by her nickname Jasmine. So that's right, Deka Yellow from Tokusou Sentai Deka Ranger. Now, uh, Deca Ranger was the show that actually brought me back into Super Sentai. Out of curiosity, after watching Power Rangers SPD and you know like trying to watch Super Sentai again after, I don't know, like many years. But still, again, watching uh, Deca Ranger again, it did reignite my interest in the Japanese version. So, with that said, again, Jasmine, I think I should call her Jasmine from this point on. So, has been a really interesting character. Of course, Jasmine, she's hot, but she also has the ability to, read people's minds by touching them, or actually like touching things. So it does help a lot in her investigations, and she helps solve a lot of crimes in that manner. So again, she is also very useful in combat, definitely. I mean, as a trained police officer, she definitely knows how to fight. So yeah, she is combined beauty and strength. So I would say, uh, Jasmine is one of my favorite female rangers of all time. So next up, number three, Luca Milfi from Kaizok Sentai Go Kaiger. Now, I would say, to be completely honest, well, I know the existence of like female rangers. Like, I do see them as role models for young women, for girls, someone they can look up to. No problem, I respect that. But I would say Luca Milfi is the very first female ranger to actually make me feel things like as a man, and you know what I'm saying. So with that aside, though, so I do want to say that Luca Milfi, she does look really nice, but uh, one of her characteristics is that she is money hungry, but that actually comes from an underprivileged past. So that becomes her motivation to, get rich. But nonetheless, even though that's her motivation for fighting, she does end up like helping save the world eventually. And yeah, well, she is uh, the tomboy, the spunky attitude. Uh, those are also things that I like about her, as opposed to the more, well, feminine and refined I'm. But again, that's just personal choice. But nonetheless, Luca is still a strong, solid female character that I can also respect and as a hero. So with that said, Luca Milfi is my number three. So next up, Haruna Morikawa. So Haruna Morikawa is also known as Pink Turbo from Kosok Sentai Turbo Ranger. Now, uh, this is more of like a late realization, but you know, Hanuna is as the only girl of the team. Like, of course, she is there, but like she is also like the class president and member of the the school cheerleading squad. Not really school cheerleader, but she's a majorette. That's why her signature weapon is the baton, I guess, or it does help. But she also has like this like sweet girl next door look to her that I actually kind of like. So if I were like watching Turbo Ranger right now, like yeah, she's definitely uh, one you would want to be in the same class with. Like I wish I were her classmate and stuff like that. But one of the more defining episodes in Turbo Ranger is I forgot which number episode it was, but she actually pretended to side with the Boma tribe in order to get an antidote for Blue Turbo, who was injured and poisoned in an earlier encounter with the Boma. So she was able to deceive everyone with her acting skills. And yeah, she she was actually awesome, like wielding a machine gun to shoot down the Boma. Yeah, it was a badass episode, so that really makes Haruna one of my solid choices as number 4. So next up, we have Sena Hayakawa from Machine Sentai Kira Major. So as Kirame Green, so she is a specialist in like speed, and considering that she is a runner, of course, she uses that to her advantage. But she also has like this peppy, cheerful attitude most of the time, and that makes her adorable. But also, like seeing her in a tracksuit is actually something that I really looked forward to every time I watched the Major. I'm not gonna lie, I do like what I see. You know what I mean? But yeah, but yes. Also, I do like Sena Hayakawa because, like, her fighting style, she is a sword user. So, she does use a reverse grip most of the time, which is impractical. But yeah, she, I guess, manages to do so with her excellent speed, but nonetheless, it works. So, next, we have another female Green Ranger in the form of Hami. So, coming in at number 6 from uh, Uchu Sentai, Q, Q Ranger. There we go. Uchu Sentai Q Ranger. There we go. There we go. So, as the first female Green Ranger in all of Super Sentai history, now, Hami does add like the adorability. I do like how adorable Hami looks, but again, she's also the one who cheers up everyone when they're down, and like, well, I'm not sure about how they went with this, but she is supposed to have come from a planet where she trained, or her home planet is where she trained to become a ninja, but I don't see that a lot often, so I don't know what Toei was thinking about this. Like they did make her a ninja in the Space Squad movie, but I wish they had her use more ninja skills within the actual show. But nonetheless, one of the other things that I do like about Hami is that, like Senna, she also uses a sword in combat. So making both female rangers or female Green Rangers sword wielders. So again, that's a plus for me. So next, we have Natsuki Mamiya, aka Boken Yellow from Gogo Sentai Bokenger. Now, Natsuki, for me, is also one of the adorable characters. But what I also like about her is that she is a klutz. So, again, I don't know which number episode it was, but I had a blast watching her, control the ultimate Daiboken all by herself and do it so clumsily that, you know, she just went berserk on everyone. Like, she didn't mean to, of course, but it just was hilarious seeing her like stomp on everybody, friend and foe alike. So again, it's kind of become a meme, I guess, but uh, like Natsuki's personality again, she is the bright and bubbly character who's also really really clumsy. Again, for the for humor, but we also see a more mysterious past with her, which also adds more depth to her character. But nonetheless, I do like Natsuki. So next, number 8, we have Kaoru Shiba from Shinkenger. So Kaoru Shiba, by far, at least in the Super Sentai universe, you know, she is the first female Red Ranger. So, of course, Takeru is the main character of the show, and we eventually learned that he was just actually like what we would call a kagemusha. So he's called a kagemusha in Japanese, like a body double meant for enemies to attack. Like Takeru's main purpose is to attract the attention of the enemy. So um, in reality, like the kagemusha is someone who is supposed to die, while the real uh, general or the real emperor probably would be in hiding, and that's what they did with Kaoru. So she was the actual 18th head of the Shiba clan, and she was the actual Shinken Red, but she went into hiding in order to perfect the sealing Mojikara that was necessary in order to defeat Chimatsuri no Dokoku. However, when the time came, so she actually failed to do so, but she entrusted, like that duty to um, Takeru eventually, and he was the one who actually defeated Dokuku. With that said, while the other Shinkengers were kind of, on the fence, as to whether or not they should accept her as leader, Kaoru was actually really likable. It's her right hand man Tamba who was really like the a hole, you know, uh, with all his condescending attitude. And she even recognized Genta's abilities, even though he wasn't part of, the original clans that were the Shinkengers, So he was the first of his line, but again, Kaoru recognized his abilities and his accomplishments and decided to actually add him, uh, into the team when she took over as leader. And, you know, with that, so Genta also respected her because of it. So, again, she was definitely a likable character. And as Shinken Red, of course, Kaoru is definitely one of the more experienced sword wielders that makes her one of my favorites as well. So next up, number 9, we have Umika Hayami from Pata Ranger versus Lupin Ranger versus Pata Ranger. There we go. So as Lupin Yellow, so Umika's main goal is to, bring back her best friend. So the Lupin Rangers had experienced some sort of loss. So no thanks to Zamigo Delma's actions, of course. So uh, again, Umika wants to bring back her best friend, who she wanted to, you know, her best friend, right? So eventually she does that, and her best friend eventually makes a manga about the Lupin Rangers. So, uh, what I also like about Umika is that in combat, so she is very very flexible, but again, she does add that brightness to an otherwise very serious team. Now, again, like the if we focus on the Lupin Rangers alone, so they have experience, like each of them lost a, loved one, or at least their loved ones were frozen. So they came together to find a way to bring back those loved ones, and you know for someone who uh, like experienced loss. So Umika is impressive because she maintains a really cheerful attitude, and again, in contrast to the more serious Tsukasa, aka Patonen Sango, again, uh, like Umika does have like this brighter attitude that makes her more adorable. Also, the fact that the Haruka Kudo was a former member of Morning Musume, so I have seen Morning Musume even before that. So yeah, you could say I was a bit of a fan of the group, but yeah, so seeing her in the show, so big plus. And finally, at number 10, we have Majin from Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. So, I understand the circumstances of like Zenkaiger opting for like more characters in costume. So, we can say it's the pandemic's fault. But, Majin as a character, so she starts off like as a very shy girl, and uh, thanks to the help of Kaito and the other Kikainoids, so Majin begins to open up more to people, and she does eventually uh, make an occult club with like local kids. So again, like she does grow as a character from being shy and timid to actually, learning how to stand up for herself and for others, especially in times of trouble. And again, despite being a kikainoid, I do find Majin adorable. Not gonna lie. So yeah, so that's my top 10 list for my favorite female rangers in Super Sentai. So who are your favorites? Let me know in the comments section below. So as always, thanks for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you next time. Bye.